Today, you're going to discover how emotional attachment silently destroys you while you keep defending it as true love. Stay until the end to understand why letting go is not losing, it's choosing yourself. They told you it was love, but it wasn't. It was fear. Fear of being alone, of not being seen, of not being enough for someone to stay. Since you were a child, you learned that to deserve affection, you had to earn it, that love only came if you behaved, if you smiled even when you were breaking inside, and that mold stayed with you. You repeated it in every relationship as if it were the only way to be loved, by betraying yourself, that trembling in your hands when a message doesn't come, that emptiness in your stomach when you see they're no longer online, that knot in your throat when you feel you're being forgotten. None of that is love. It's anxiety. It's emotional dependence dressed up in romantic sentences. It's a cage shaped like a hug. You learn to need before you learn to feel, to hold on rather than to share, to survive rather than to love. Carl Jung understood this with brutal clarity. He knew that when two people truly meet, both are transformed, but you are not transforming. You are disappearing. You are shrinking yourself to fit into a space that was never yours. You mold yourself to someone else's expectations just to avoid being abandoned. But the one you're abandoning, in reality, is yourself. You call it love, but it's addiction. It's that sick need to keep the other person close, because without their presence you feel like less. Because their absence forces you to face the terror of your own emptiness. It's the same mechanism as a drug. Temporary calm, withdrawal, desperation. Attachment doesn't connect you, it distorts you. And you believe it, you hold on to it, you defend it, because no one taught you how to be with yourself. Because living without the other feels like dying. But you don't die. You confront. You rebuild. You wake up. Detachment is the revolution no one wants to go through. Because it hurts. Because it burns. Because it forces you to see what you avoided for years. That your misunderstood idea of love has been your refuge to avoid feeling the weight of your own wound. But true love doesn't chain you, doesn't demand, doesn't force you to renounce who you are. True love doesn't make you lose yourself to keep it alive. The love that breaks you is not love. It's attachment in disguise. And the more you defend it, the more you betray yourself. Detachment is not disconnection. It's not coldness. It's respect. It's dignity. It's the most radical act of self-love you can practice, because it requires you to release fear. It forces you to stop living with the anxiety of losing someone and start living with the responsibility of not losing yourself. And yes, it burns, because you're ripping out a habit that turned into identity. But you weren't born to beg for affection. You didn't come into this world to be half a person with half a love. You came here to be whole. When you understand that real love doesn't need guarantees or conditions, everything changes. Loving is not controlling, nor securing, nor holding on. It's sharing. It's choosing from freedom, not fear. It's looking someone in the eyes and saying, I love you, but I don't need you to exist. And that's where the chain breaks. That's where you finally breathe with your own lungs. Most people don't love, they cling. They attach themselves to an idea, a face, a promise, not out of love, but out of lack, because they feel so little that they need another body to validate them. And it becomes routine. It becomes normal. But it isn't. It shouldn't be. Because that attachment is a silent form of death, one that doesn't scream but consumes, one that doesn't bleed but destroys. And then comes the breaking point, that day when you can't sustain the lie anymore. You look in the mirror and don't recognize yourself. You built your entire existence around someone else. You made them your center, your purpose, your salvation. And when they leave, everything collapses. But what's collapsing wasn't love. It was your artificial identity propped up by the presence of another person. Detaching is staying alone with your shadows without trembling. It's looking at yourself without filters. It's realizing that you were already enough before anyone arrived, and you'll still be enough when they're gone. It's stopping the use of others as an excuse not to face yourself. Because that relationship stealing your peace isn't love, it's a reflection of your unhealed wound. And that wound only heals when you face it head on. Without anesthesia, without justifications, with truth, raw truth. The kind that frees you even when it hurts. You don't need anyone to complete you. You need to stop running from yourself. Because as long as your worth depends on someone else's eyes, you'll remain a slave to their gaze. And that's not love. It's self-abandonment. It's internal betrayal. It's momentary anesthesia for a wound you never allowed to heal. You adapted so much to what you thought the other wanted that you forgot how your voice sounds when you're not trying to please. And that hurts more than any goodbye. Jung spoke of the shadow, that buried part we pretend not to have. When you get attached, you do it from there, from what you don't want to see, from what you fear revealing. You put on a mask, smile even when you're broken, say, "I'm fine," while you're slowly fading, because you think that if you show who you really are, they'll leave. So, you live hidden, locked in, condemned to relationships where you can never truly be yourself. Emotional dependence is a slow form of suicide. You stop choosing yourself, stop listening to yourself, stop defending your boundaries. You become a reflection and echo of what the other feels, says, does. If they're happy, you're happy. If they pull away, you fall apart. That constant oscillation turns your life into an emotional battlefield. But it's not them breaking you. It's you, handing your power away every time you forget how to be with yourself. And the cruelest part, you get used to it, to the drama, the rush, the roller coasters. You confuse intensity with connection. You cling to someone who gives you crumbs because you think that's all you deserve. And you reject peaceful love because it feels boring. But that's not love. It's addiction to pain. It's distorted emotional memory. It's the echo of a childhood where you learned that you only deserved love if you did something extraordinary. Detachment is not about stopping feeling. It's about feeling without destroying yourself. It's about no longer trading your peace for someone's presence. It's holding yourself when the other person isn't there. It's not begging for crumbs. It's not pleading for attention. It's looking at yourself with such compassion that you no longer accept less than you deserve. It's hugging yourself when the world collapses. It's turning your solitude into a temple, not a punishment. And yes, at first it hurts, because letting go of a bond where you invested so much, where you placed dreams, hopes, and pieces of your identity, feels like tearing off your own skin. But what hurts is not losing them. What hurts is losing the version of yourself you created to keep them. What hurts is realizing you are giving yourself to someone who couldn't hold you. But that is also maturity, knowing when to stop, when to say enough, because when you choose your peace over habit, over fear, over drama, everything aligns, your vibration changes, your inner world clears, and from there, only from there, can you love without chains. From integrity, not from emptiness. From freedom, not from need. That is the love that transforms. And that love begins with you. If this video stirred something inside you, don't ignore it. Subscribe, activate the bell, leave a like, and join us in the next video. Comment if you felt reflected and share this message with those who still confuse love with pain.